Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Maybe by the Chantels. And we end up capoing this on 3rd fret. We're going to kind of walk through a couple things in root position. And we're going to start off with kind of that main bass line, actually. It starts off with the low E on the 3rd fret for our intro. And then you kind of hear 2nd fret on the low E, kind of help point to an open E note. And you'll hear the open E, and then kind of open D, to kind of help point to the 3rd fret on the A string. It's kind of a C note. And then we'll be going back to open D. So you might want to kind of just have that kind of in the back of your mind, kind of that G, F sharp, E, D, C, D, kind of through the tune. And we could start off with the chords on that, kind of starting off on a G major chord. When we play G major, 1st finger goes to A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the low E 3rd fret, and 3rd finger on the high E 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now on G's in general, it can be kind of cool to put the 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, and kind of work that for your G major. And you could even kind of try and follow that bass note, actually, kind of lifting off the 2nd finger and going to the low E on the 2nd fret for that F sharp note. It's kind of a G/F sharp, or G with an F sharp in the bass. Or you may want to kind of even take the 2nd finger and kind of add it on the G string 2nd for kind of a D sus/F sharp to kind of help point to an E minor chord. The E minor. 1st finger goes to A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the D string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord. That sounds really sad. Now you may also want to think about adding in the 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, kind of working an E minor 7. And then from the E minor, actually we got that open D note that kind of helps point to our kind of a C note. And you could even back that up with the D major chord by doing 1st finger on the G 2nd, 2nd finger on the high E 2nd, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd, and kind of strumming the D string to the high E string. It's kind of a D major idea. And then from the D we go to a C major chord. We play C major. 1st finger goes to the B on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the A string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now on C's in general, though, it can be kind of cool to lift off the 1st finger, maybe the C major 7, or you could add in the pinky on the high E 3rd for the C major 9, and kind of say some things around the C chord. Or another C major 9 you may want to think about using would be doing 1st on the D 2nd, 2nd finger on the A 3rd, 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, kind of working that for your C. And then from the C we go back to our D major chord at the very end. Although through the tune, actually, you may want to think about using a D7 chord for that too, where you could do 1st finger on the B 1st fret, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the high E 2nd. So if you want a little bit more pull actually back to the G chord through the tune, actually you can use the D7. Now timing wise, it almost kind of feels like a 4 on the floor kind of idea, but you're kind of dividing each foot tap into something called triplets, where it's kind of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if you're counting beats that way, it's almost kind of like 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. It's kind of a 12/8 idea is technically what this is. So you could kind of work the G for kind of 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the G/F sharp to lead into the E minor for kind of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the D for 1, 2, 3, and then the C for kind of our 4 triplets or 4 groups of 3, and then our D for 4. And that's a little weird, but I think that could be kind of cool. And I'm doing that with just down, kind of muting. So G 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, G/F sharp, E minor 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, D, C, D, B. Now if that seems really weird to you, actually, well, another strum pattern that could work, especially if you're covering it out by yourself, is a 4/4 strum pattern. One of my favorite 4/4 strum patterns is down, down, up, down, up. So we took the G and just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. So we kind of worked that through that intro. The weird part is if you still want to get the moving basses, you could kind of work that on the last down, up of the pattern. G/F sharp with the last down, up. So G, down, up, G/F sharp. that way. Or if you're quick enough, you may want to work it as kind of a down, down, up, down, up to fill in time on the threes. And this is a little weird, but kind of a G, G. So I'm taking each of that 1, 2, 3 and kind of filling it in. So now down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. It's kind of my 1, 2, 3, 4 as far as the beats go. So we try it that way. You'd have a G, D slash F sharp, E minor, D, C, D. It's almost kind of feeling it like a jig. I kind of threw that part. And then we'll basically be taking those chords and kind of mixing them up until we get to our bridge part. And on our bridge, we start on a C, and then we do another C, and then we go to a G, but then you might want to make a change to a G7 chord, where you first finger on the high E first fret, second finger on the A second fret, third finger on the low E string third fret. Kind of get some nasty weight going on to kind of point back to our C chord, and another C chord, but then we go to an A minor chord. And all you really have to do is take 3 from the A string third and go to the G string second fret, kind of make an A minor, and then at the end we go to our D or our D7 at the end of the bridge. And on that we kind of get to do our whole strum pattern. So you could do the down, down, up, down, up. It's kind of that slow idea, C, or you maybe work in the threes, G, G7, or you can do the down, down, up, down. Verse chorus. Now the weird part is to play along with the Chantels though, instead of starting on the G, they're actually starting on a B flat major. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take the capo and put him on the 3rd fret, and now the G is really B flat. Your G slash F sharp is really an F or a B flat slash A. E minor is really G minor. C is really B flat, and the D is really an F. And when we get to the A minor, it's really a C minor. And there is this little bass line actually if you want to kind of kick it off, where you can play the open D, and then open D, and then 2 on the D, and then 4th fret on the D. So we want to kind of use that as kind of a kickoff lick. It might be kind of a cool way to start it. So we tried it that way. We could do it any of those ways. Kind of, we started with the downs, right? So G, D slash F sharp, E minor, D, C, D. Kind of work for that intro. Or you could do the down, down, up, and have G, G slash F sharp, E minor, D, C, D. If you want just a really easy way to work it. Or if you're quick enough, you can kind of get that down, down, up to kind of fill in time on it too. G slash F sharp, E minor, D, C, D. And from there, then we'll be going into our first verse chorus. Now the weird part is at the very, very end, actually, there's kind of halving a time thing, where we could do the C major, or the G to the C, and then a G to a D. And if you're doing the down, down, up on that part, you may want to do just a down, down, up to kind of half those chords. So that could work if you're kind of working at that feel. Or if you're doing the 4 groups of triplets, you kind of do kind of 2 on each. So you have G, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, C, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, D. Kind of a 6 down idea. Or you could fill in the time that way too. C, G, down, 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 B, down, 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 kind of working it that way. So we tried through our first verse chorus. We'd have our G, E minor, C, verse chorus. Now, one other thing I think about adding to the song though is bass notes. So on that first down of the down, down, up, you may want to throw in a bass for the chord. So on the G, you'd have low E for the bass. On the E minor, you'd have low E for the bass. On the C, you'd have the A for the bass. On the A minor, you'd have the A for the bass. And on the Ds, you'd have the D for the bass. So we can even try that second verse as kind of a bass down, up, down, up. And then you have G, E minor, the double time idea, kind of the down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. You could kind of add in some basses on that too. So we tried it that way. You'd have the G, E minor, C, or you try adding in that bass line from the intro, G/F sharp, E minor. Parts. We tried that with a bass down, up, down, up. We'd have the C down, up, C with A bass, G with low E bass, G7 low E bass, C with an A bass, C with an A bass, A minor with an A bass, D with a D bass. Or you could kind of add in other basses too, and actually this is kind of a random thing, but normally from C's, if you want to try and help point to the A minors, you could kind of throw in a second fret on the A string bass on that. So you might want to kind of think about doing the C, down, up, and then kind of playing the 2 on the A string to help point to the A minor. A random thing there, but that might be kind of cool. So that last part, you'd have the C, 2 on the A string, open A for the A minor chord, D with a D bass, or you could kind of try it with the basses and kind of work in the 12/8 feel kind of basses. We'd have the C, into our outro verse chorus, and the only difference really is at the very end we do a lot of that halving G and C to kind of fade out. So we tried that with kind of our bass down, up, down, up. We'd have the G, G/F sharp, E minor, E, C, kind of like our intro if you're kind of digging on those licks. So G/F sharp, E minor, E, C. Or if you're digging on kind of that down, down, up, 4 times, kind of an idea, you'd have the G, maybe G/F sharp, E minor, E minor, D, C, C, D, G/F sharp, E minor, C. Then we have our halving part at the end of G. strum along with Maybe by the Chantels. So good luck!